This is probably a prank. Born brought up in Delhi, have recovered now. Sorry, if it's too dark, please cut it out. Sorry. Okay. I don't get to ask you questions. You can.
Hey guys, so welcome to Bluelearn's first podcast episode with Garv Malik. It's called Out of the Blue. We don't need much introduction. I think everyone knows more or less about you. Stand-up comedian, angel investor, chief meme officer, and a fellow BITSian. Always good to have you in the house. Yeah, BITSian proud. Let's get started with a couple of, let's deep dive into your background, and then we can start from there, and then in the end we'll have a rapid round where we can explore more of this setup over here. Can you give us a quick rundown about how you started your journey, your background, where you come from, all of those things?
Okay, so I was born brought up in Delhi, have recovered now. Went for coaching, ended up in BITS, took civil by choice because I was very much interested. Took up, sat for only one company to get into L&T, and I quit that job in 3 months. Have not looked at civil ever since. Discovered a startup called Shuttle, worked there for 2 years. Had started doing stand-up in college final year as a side thing. That too because I actually started with college elections, but then comedy and politics seemed similar. So then after Shuttle, went on to do stand-up full-time for 4 years. Out of which 2 years, I was also managing another comedian called Kunal Kamra, who I decided to manage because he was funny and I wanted to learn about comedy, but I ended up learning about law thanks to him. Then I saw a job posting on LinkedIn which said Chief Meme Officer. I thought this was a prank. It had a Google form, I filled it. And then I thought, let me just make a few memes, send it to whatever email addresses I can find from the company. And here we are. It's been 1.5 years I've been working at Slice.
That's insane. But when you came across this chief meme officer posting on LinkedIn, I'm assuming, what was your first initial reaction? What did you think it was? Marketing or just comedy, or was it? Because it sounds like it was curated for you. It sounds like something that you would fit right into, right? So what was your initial reaction when you first saw this?
My first initial reaction was that this is probably a prank. Sorry, but I had not heard of Slice at all. I was not sure if it's a legit company.
Yeah, mango juice.
Yep. No, but it was purple. No. And I didn't want a job. I was like, I want material for stand-up because I'd gone to a lot of corporate shows, and then I was like, I need more material than just HR job. So I said, I'll give this interview and I will make 5 minutes of stand-up material on how interview processes are. And that was my sole reason of going.
Oh, chal, yeah.
Then they got serious, then I got serious. That's it.
Nice. But what, then this transitioned into more of marketing role, and how did that happen? How did you end up in marketing? Do you like that? How would you sort of compare that with comedy?
I had touched startups and marketing before as well. So when I was working in Shuttle, 2015 and 2017.
What is Shuttle, if you could?
Shuttle was a bus company. It was like Uber, but for bus seats, people who travel from Delhi to Gurgaon. You had 30-40 seater buses. So at that time, Delhi to Gurgaon in a cab would cost 500. Metro would cost 40, but you wouldn't get seats and you would have to change. This was around $120 and you could travel, let's say, 40 kilometers or so.
Oh, wow. Very cool. And then because of this experience, you learned marketing.
So marketing also, how I stumbled is that, Shuttle was an early stage startup when I joined. And they wanted someone to handle their social media, and out of the 50-60 people that were there in the company, I was probably the one who had most number of followers or who had used social media to post publicly. So they were generous enough to trust me ki what's the worst you will do, as in any case not many people know us at this point. So that's when I started learning marketing at Shuttle, then learned performance marketing, SEO, tons of other things there. So I had done that, but of course my knowledge was 4 years old. But I had to freshen up the concepts before I could fully get into Slice.
Yeah, very cool. But when you started off, chief meme officer wasn't really a thing. I think that Slice has sort of started with that, but now it's catching on. And a lot of other companies and startups have sort of people in those roles. Weren't you a little bit nervous or scared when you were taking up a role with a new category, something that didn't exist before, something that didn't have a playbook? What exactly to do? How did you go about that?
So again, to be honest, I had not thought, I knew what I wanted to do for the next 3 months, from whatever I had understood about the brand and the memes and the ideas I had in my mind. But to be honest, I'm sort of a reckless person. So I had not thought, okay, 5 years later, I can't become senior chief meme officer. Already estimated. So like, I know what I'm going to do 4 or 5 months. And in the rare case, if let's say there's no work or anything goes wrong, I can come back and do comedy.
Right. So the comedy is sort of your fallback option in case something happened.
Or I could go to another, like, of course, let's say tomorrow, I might not find another meme role. But I can always do other things in marketing.
Right. So shifting gears a little bit into your comedy career, it's awesome career so far. I think it's been very fruitful. We were discussing this before itself, almost 750 shows pre-pandemic, right? Now probably 1,200, 1,300 shows. Does it get a little tiring? Or what is the content? What is that? Have you ever exhausted it? How does that process of coming up with new content, delivering it, making sure it works, keep going? Is it sort of like a content machine? Or
how we do it is that we try to write every day, and like shows and open mics are the versions where we sort of tweak our jokes every single time. Of course, it's not that every show we bring up an entirely new set of jokes. They would not work. Like on an average, a good stand-up comedian is probably producing 5 minutes in a month.
Oh wow, okay.
So if it's the third, if that person is going on 20, 25, at least 25 to 28 times on stage, so they'll try a different version, they'll tweak the story a little, they'll try a new tag, they'll change some specifics and keep iterating till they reach the funniest possible version of that.
Yeah, very similar to the journey of a startup where you keep experimenting with different things, seeing what sticks, what doesn't. Very interesting. But now that you have comedy, chief officer plus influence on social media, how do you manage all of these things? Any sort of prioritization you do? Yeah. How does that happen?
So again, stand-up, to be honest, had taken a backseat for the past 6-8 months. But the idea is that stand-up shows luckily happen in evenings. So pick 2 evenings in a week where you would at least go on stage. Content creation is something that I can record in a batch or at least do it on weekends. And what I do take external help is have an editor who I just upload the file. So it's her job to cut them out, add subtitles, post them on social media. Like I've given her my passwords because
ease of efficient. Nice. And do you think your background in comedy has helped this role of marketing plus memes, or do you think anyone can sort of learn into this role?
I think of course it has helped, because even as comedians we were still like even to do live stand-up shows we had to pull audiences, so we'd keep making memes or jokes or content to get people in. It has definitely helped, but a lot of people who are or will be in similar roles could be memers first, people who have run meme pages, or people who create social media content only. Not like stand-up is more live art form, you get instant feedback in 12 seconds. Social media also gives you fairly instant feedback in probably 3-4 hours, you know whether this meme's gonna travel or not.
Right. The art of creating a viral meme is similar. Nice. Going deeper into this, do you think you can give us like a brief glimpse of your day-to-day operations? Matlab, kya matlab uthte ho and then what do you...
So work-wise, to be very honest, like of course, Slice is a finance company. So there's some RBI guidelines as well, which is why not my entire day goes into memes. I've also been looking at influencer marketing and YouTube for the past 1.5 years. Now, currently I'm focusing more on IPL and how we can leverage it. Some memes might go out or some social media posts might go out from our accounts, but I also look at what can other accounts talk about Slice.
Yeah, very interesting. Would you like to talk more about the IPL? How is this sort of going on collaboration-wise?
So, Slice has been the title sponsor for Mumbai Indians. It's a 3-year contract. It's our second year this year. And what we are working on is so we get certain time with the players, we get certain time of stadium tours, we get a few merchandise deliverables, VIP tickets. So we try to leverage how do we use, let's say, the VIP merchandise or the entries to get more social media traction, or how can we create delight for our customers. We probably pick the most valuable customers, give them free tickets so that they can watch the show.
Have you personally met any of the players, or who's your favorite player?
So last year, thanks to the pandemic or third wave, we have a meet and greet with all the players, which I hosted over Zoom. So I think the entire Mumbai Indians team I was able to talk to Rohit Sharma, Bumrah, Sky, and a few other players as well. So that was a good advantage of being probably the only camera friendly person in the marketing team at that time. It's like just show up in places and you'll get random opportunities which you don't expect. Like all you have to do is, I'll try.
but it's also grabbing opportunities, right? So not too much of your work involves memes, right? Influencer marketing, like you mentioned. Any interesting people that you've met who really stuck out in your head that you want to talk about?
So there's one recruiter in Bangalore called Mahesh. He is like most recruiters, search on LinkedIn, find a person, tell them, okay, this company is great, what we are doing is amazing. He lands up in the right places, like the place he'll pick his residence not according to his office, but according to where he can find more people to recruit.
Oh.
Like he's probably made developers sign offer letters while taking their dog on a walk. He's got people to poker nights, got them drunk and said, we'll discuss terms later, you first agree to come.
That is very, very persuasive recruiter. But as for an introduction, sir.
Absolutely, and he's probably the best recruiter I know in Bangalore at this point. And he was at an academy for a while. Probably had 300 plus engineers which is hard in Bangalore.
Very hard. Well, wo to Bangalore, I think if you throw a stone, you'll get a product manager.
And if the stone bounces, it will hit a developer.
No, definitely. But now, again, going back, if you were to start over, Puri journey, with resources, with the knowledge you have today, is there any part of your journey you would change, make better? Do you think that each event has led to another to reach the stage you've reached today?
I would be more iterative if I had to, like in terms of stand-up. Like I've probably recorded every time I've performed, but I've not heard the audio every time. Like sometimes I'm too lazy, sometimes it's too hard to listen to your own voice. So I would religiously do it, write down the parts that worked, write down the ones that didn't, probably do it over an Excel, and then reach the funniest jokes faster. Second, I would probably go back and release more videos. Like I sort of got discouraged after none of my first 3 videos crossed 1 million views.
Set the bar very high.
That because it was like all my peers crossed 1 million in their first video.
Achha.
And the people who had started around me are probably people who have already done Netflix specials at this point.
Oh, achha.
So then I thought I should also reach it. So I first video reached 800k and I was like, oh god, I failed. And then I said I will work hard for 2 years and then put videos again. And that 2 years became 4 years. Now it has become 6 years.
Procrastination.
Yeah.
No, but I think 800k for first time is also very insane.
Yep.
You just set the bar too high for that.
Now you should try releasing a brand video. It reaches 8,000. Your heart's happy.
100%. But nice. And if you could, you mentioned that you're not the type of guy who has 5-10 year plans. You're more in the moment. But if you had any plans, be it medium term also, what is something that you want to achieve or working towards?
I'd probably want to probably play a role that all, like, so far what all brands have been done is like they have their brand rules that this is what we are gonna do. They talk like a bill, like in some sense what brands usually say is not something that people connect with. I would want more and more brands to embrace a more human side, make mistakes, say things as a person, be more relatable to people, not be too stuck to this is our brand color, this is how our logo has to be, and especially not shove your logo everywhere. Nobody notices it. And if they can ask themselves how many logos did they notice while they were walking, and they would also miss them.
Attention spam, I think attention span has reduced a lot significantly with us. But if you had to choose a couple of your favorite startups, something that you look up to, not founders, but your favorite startups in general, non-Indian, Indian, anything, what would a few of those would be? I'll give you an example. Mine, one of my top favorite few startups was Zerodha and WhatsApp. I think what they've done, Zerodha, by democratizing access to investing to everyone is very interesting. Especially I'm interested in finance and investing. And WhatsApp, by making it easier to send any message. I mean, we are on WhatsApp probably the whole day.
Absolutely.
So those would be my two top. What would be some of your favorite?
I think one is on Juno. What I've how the demo I've seen is like this guy in India taps his Apple Watch on a POS machine in Indranagar, and it deducts crypto from my crypto wallet directly. So that's a good jump that they've taken. I would say in terms of product, I don't know, it's technically a startup or it's probably a side project that the person has done. I mean, Sachin is it. It's Mizo Messages, where it sort of, I use an Android specifically for that it categorizes all SMSs and I don't have to check only the OTPs are shown, everything else they categorize in spam and
यार ऐसे तो मेरे को भी चाहिए, but this is a super. I get hundreds of messages every day. पूरा spam आता तो bags.
every like I don't get notified of anything. Only when an OTP comes, it gets auto copied. So I just have to tap one button and it's done there.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Very cool, man. And do you think your time at Bits shaped you who you are today? Yeah. Would you give any credit back to college?
Absolutely. I think going to BITS brings me two things. One, it raised the bar of what I thought that I could do or what people could do. Like everybody around me was in some sense challenging or trying to get better. So I pulled my socks up a lot. Second is it works as a privilege of having a backup always. Like because I could probably quit my job and do stand-up for full time for 4 years because I knew that whenever I want to look for a job, I'll find one. Worst case, it will pay a little less than what I expect, but I'll still have a job.
Right. So I think that's important.
That comfort's there. So take as many risks as you can if you have backup. Yeah.
Would this be the advice? So the last question for the long form messages is that if you could give any advice to either yourself at 18 or 20, yeah, to next upcoming generation, what would that be?
I would say that invest in personal growth. Like, of course, you'd go to university and learn skills and probably get a job. But keep investing money into your own self. Like, it could be learning, not just online courses. It could be therapy. It could be therapy. It could be coaches. Whatever you may find. But as a person, a lot of times, like irrespective of the skills, you could be a developer, data science, or creatives, whatever. But a lot of times, our own thoughts block us from achieving what we can. So mind control is something that you can definitely put your efforts.
Definitely. I think mental health is something that needs increasingly more awareness. It's happening slowly, but nice. I think we'll end the long form session. We have Jenga over here. And what we thought was ki if we're doing rapid fire round, we can't give you too much time to think. So we will be playing Jenga while I'm asking you questions. So you will be thinking of answering a question quickly while moving the next piece.
Damn.
Okay? Okay. So let's
Part of
quickly
my
get-
job has always been being quick on my feet.
It's perfect. So just again out of the blue questions and out of the blue answers, right? I'll go first and then I'll ask you questions and you give the answer. Anything under 30 seconds should work.
Okay. I don't get to ask you questions.
You can पूछ लो रिवर्स सुनो कर लो कर सकते हैं But starting off, when was the last time you played any board game? Jenga types या कुछ भी?
Last week we played Catan.
अच्छा?
Yes.
कहाँ पर? You really like Catan?
I played it for the third or fourth time, so I like it so far, but I'm not yet regular.
Nice. Your turn. What would your favorite childhood memory be?
I have 30 seconds.
Time नहीं है
I would say it was getting that free ice cream at Nirula's because you scored X percentage, or I think it was some 85 or 90.
Hey, what is Nerola's?
See, generation gap. Nirula's was you've grown up in Bangalore, na?
हाँ.
So it was similar to Corner House in some sense. No, actually that food as well, but it was very popular in 18 or 1990s. And we as small kids used to go. They were the first ones to probably have 21 or 31 ice cream flavors. So if you went with your report card around in March, April, and you got like let's say 85 or 90% and above, so they would give you a free ice cream.
That is very cool. That is such a cool. We can't have
Delhi mein tha yaar. Delhi mein a lot of places. I think the owner probably built a few 100 crore empire, and he expired this year or last year's one, 2022. But look up Nirula's as well. Yaar, good story and good. Probably like that was the first place I ever saw burgers and hot dogs in India.
Oh, that is insane. What is your favorite meme of all time?
I don't know if it's appropriate for this platform, but I saw that there was a meme which said that a picture of a quota student coming back home, and it on the train bench, it wasn't a student sitting or anything, but it was a urn of ashes.
The darker side.
Sorry, if it's too dark, please cut it out. Sorry.
What is your favorite food?
Yeah, hot chocolate fudge.
Hot chocolate fudge. And what is the biggest fear in your life?
Biggest fear is my my anger will probably I don't know, make me do things that I'll regret.
That's a
Okay, actually, biggest fear is going to jail as a comedian. Not because it's jail, but it's like going to jail for a joke is a little shameful. Like, at least let me do a bigger crime.
कुछ तो करो हाँ कुछ तो करके but no just adding on this have you ever been scared of being cancelled on stage with this whole cancel culture
Cancellation is a fear I think every comedian has at some point. Like, of course, a lot of them say that we're not, but and it's not that people have the wrong things to say but are sort of controlling. Like, if you like, it's not the thought process. I think sometimes it's like what you may say today, and it may be appropriate. After of course, 10 years later,
who knows
it may not be the right thing to say.
right
Like, probably 10-15 years ago, it was okay to crack homophobic jokes. Of course, if someone today does that, they should be, let's say, taken to task or called out on Twitter or whatever. But if somebody has done that 15 years ago, I feel that's a gray area. Like, of course, they could be willing to change now, or they could be too old, I don't know.
but whatever's happened in the past happened in the past
Take the context of that time with it.
understood but there are popular comedians like Russell Peters who are not scared of anything matlab, they just go all out what are your thoughts on that do you think something like that could potentially blow up in India yeah
Of course, like, there are comedians who have, let's say, done objectionable stuff here and still have it in. And of course, cancel culture at the end is a taste of their own medicine. Like, it's telling people with a clout that our clout can fight you back and sort of take you.
oh interesting POV interesting point never thought of it that way
Like, you only get cancelled when you're important enough.
makes sense very interesting
I'd be happier if there was another system in place which keeps everybody across the range of clout in check, or told them that they cannot abuse the power.
but I think it's market that decides it's the janta that decides
Problem is that a lot of, like, it's, of course, like every other system, it has its flaws, and one of them is that a lot of times it's led by clout chasers themselves.
okay that's biased from the get
No, it's like it may not necessarily serve the cause, or may not be necessarily aiming at justice. It could be just aiming at another person gaining clout.
so it's very very interesting point of
We paused the game, huh? I know you were gonna lose.
It's your turn, Avi. Acha, you've explored so many various interests, right? I think you started a career as an engineer, yeah, structural engineer or something. If I'm
Like, on paper, yes, civil engineer, but
no, even at LNP, I think your first few stints were engineering. And
yes,
then
my internships were in structural, which was lovely. But once the final placement happened, we weren't doing much of structural work. One of the reasons I decided to leave.
Acha, but if you had got the chance, you would have stayed on as a structural engineer.
Possibly.
Very interesting. So after that, you went to marketing, stand-up, chief meme officer. You've angel investing. You've been through a wide spectrum. Don't you think it's a little uncertainty around all of these? Like, what will you do next? Do you ever feel uncertain about all this? Or do you like changing career paths and exploring?
No, what I suggest to others as well, and what I want to do is, like, be comfortable and used to uncertainty.
Right.
Because the moment you start getting comfortable, you are putting your career at risk. Like, if you have to learn new skills every 2 years, in my opinion. You're gonna it's like, you could probably pick a career ki I'm safe, I'll work as a copywriter. There were people who have been doing copywriting for 10-15 years. Now, of course, legacy businesses will ensure that they have jobs. But social media writing is probably slightly done in a different way than copywriting. There will be newer fields that will keep coming, and of course they will become hotter than the old ones. Old ones will have career, but then the pace of growth in those careers will slow down as careers become old.
But adding on to this, honestly tell, have you made any of your content with ChatGPT?
Not yet.
No.
But I'll tell you what, I've made my vacation itinerary because...
Oh, that is very interesting use case.
So I'll tell you what, like 3-4 friends I asked, like, so I'm planning to go to South Korea at the end of this month.
Achha.
So I asked 4-5 friends who have been there or who have idea of the space. Somebody says take a 7-day trip, somebody says take a 10 trip, somebody says 3 days is enough. Everybody has, and then they're all trying to figure it out. I'm like, let me ask ChatGPT so that I have no one else to blame. Like, if someone tells me ki spend these many days and that person is wrong, then I'm like, I don't trust you. But ChatGPT, I'm like, what?
Very interesting. Any other use cases you've seen? Actually, recently at Bluelearn, we incorporated ChatGPT to help recruiters make a job description. So we realized job descriptions are a pain in the ass. No one knows. It's like a 5-6 paragraph bullet points. ChatGPT does it insane. Under 30 seconds, we have an entire generated editable job description. Though it's been helping us, of course, get more recruiters on board. But any other interesting use cases? I've seen copywriting becoming slowly, redundant. I don't want to call that, but anything else?
I know someone who's using it.
कर लिया है.
Oh, my turn.
You lose. But how it goes?
I think one interesting use case someone I know is using it for is writing Bumble bios.
Bumble bios.
Because that's a place where a lot of people have a lot of writer's block. Oh fuck,
Right.
this is also moving. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. How can I touch this and stop?
नहीं गिर जाएगा.
Hey, structural engineering.
After now, there's no way I can win.
No.
But nice, Bumble, very interesting. Where it's like, couple of last things. When was the last time you shaved your beard?
2014.
मतलब 7 साल पहले.
9 years.
You haven't shaved your beard in 9 years.
Completely no. I don't think I should or anyone should see me that way.
I think you should.
See, I am like, it's hard to look 30 at this point, and if I start looking 23 tomorrow, I don't know, I'll probably be denied entry in pubs, which I don't want at this point.
Makes sense.
And I think like dating would also suddenly become tough. Like suddenly I have to change my age range on Bumble. Like I'm easily in 27 to 31. Now I'll have to, because of your face, you should probably be.
I but ChatGPT is there, so you can quickly get a new profile up and ready.
I can, but sadly those people have to eventually meet me in person. And I don't think it would work out if, let's say, a 22-year-old has told me. Like, there's a lot of difference in context.
Yeah. Awesome, man. I think I'll try one more time and I'll probably lose. But we can end this with the most generic question. I think I've already asked this earlier. But advice which you would give to anyone, what would that be?
Don't make, let's say, 15, 20-year-old career plans, because the job market, what skills are needed in the market will change. Think 3 to 5 years and keep learning new things out of the blue.
Out of the show. Yeah. ये हो गया मेरे से भी.
Okay, so I'm gonna lose this one, but in life there is no losing or winning, just experience.
Awesome, Garv, it's been a pleasure having you here. We have a couple of gifts for you before before we wrap this up completely. So let me just quickly get that.
But I should officially win, na? That's when I'll.
No, I think we can call it a tie, but I'll give you the benefit of doubt as a structural engineer. Give a tough fight. हम लोग तो ये दिन रात खेलते हैं.
No, then so he should get better, like fighting against a structural engineer and he's still in it.
Yeah. So awesome. We have this little. थोड़ा बहुत जुगाड़ करना पड़ा last minute का.
नहीं, I am just like मैं नाम लिखा है. मेरी अच्छी handwriting में.
ये सब हाँ तो एक बार
I should open. Oh my God. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That is very true, and this has to have short glasses on. It's too. Hey, does the audience also know I'm an alcoholic or what?
No. I think this is a good coming out.
Yeah. Oh, I am sold just because you have Pariniti.
So you miss 100% shots you don't take.
I'm keeping the box more than the glasses, but yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I want gifts. I didn't know.
You got gift. But this was the funny gift. We have a little bit more of a serious gift. I think thinking fast and slow.
Oh my God.
You might have already read it, not sure.
No, I haven't. It was something that I thought I will eventually read, but this is also inside it. I would suggest that, okay, very good. I'll read the book and then tweet. If you like it, then if you
Yes, definitely done. Awesome, guys. Thank you guys so much. And do join us again for podcast number 2 happening soon. Signing off.
Thank you, everyone. And do check out the Bluelearn app.
Yes, definitely.